You know, the night shift is supposed to be quiet, predictable even. But for some people, that silence becomes a perfect canvas for absolute terror. Today, we're going to dissect the anatomy of fear by looking at some true stories from night shift workers, and we're going to uncover the chilling patterns that emerge when the world goes dark. And that one sentence, wow. It just perfectly captures that chilling moment of realization, the moment when a person who was right there suddenly isn't. That's the pivot point, where a boring, mundane routine just completely collapses into pure dread. And that's exactly where our analysis begins.
Every single terrifying encounter we're about to look at starts in the exact same kind of place, one defined by quiet, mind-numbing monotony. The night shift's greatest comfort, its predictability, is also its biggest weakness. It sets up this baseline of what's normal, which makes any little thing that's out of place feel deeply, fundamentally wrong. So this is a quote from the hotel worker, and it's a feeling you hear from all of them. I mean, that's why they took these jobs in the first place, right? For the quiet. They got used to the building's little creaks, the hum of the fridge, the whole rhythm of the late-night silence. And that sense of routine, it's the perfect camouflage for someone with really bad intentions. And this, right here, is the absolute key. That quiet isn't some kind of shield. It's more like a canvas. It allows the tiniest unsettling detail, a stare that lasts a second too long, a car parked with its lights off, to just pop, to stand out in sharp relief. The silence doesn't hide the threat, it magnifies it. So when you look at the environments in these stories, they're almost identical. You've got isolated locations, often with just one person on duty. This mix of being alone and having a predictable routine creates, well, a perfect hunting ground. There are no witnesses, and the worker's schedule is super easy for someone to watch and exploit. The terror in these stories, it doesn't just start with an attack out of nowhere. No, it begins with a feeling. It's that slow, creeping realization that you are being systematically watched. It's this deep psychological violation that happens long before any physical threat even enters the picture.
Okay, check out this timeline from the hotel story. It's a perfect illustration of how this isn't just one thing, but a slow, terrifying escalation. It starts with a weird look. An hour and a half later, he's just sitting there, staring at absolutely nothing. Then he's actively exploring, kind of testing the space. And finally, he's targeting a specific guest room. For 5 hours straight, he was this constant, menacing presence.
And you see this same pattern repeat, just with slightly different methods. The hotel guy, he used deception to get inside and just watched silently. But Paul, at the gas station, he took a different approach. He pretended to be this curious local, watching from his car and using conversation to dig for information. But both tactics, they served the exact same purpose: to observe, to learn, and to intimidate. And this quote, man, this just gets right to the heart of it. It's not just about seeing someone look at you, right? It's a physical sensation. It's that primal instinct that kicks in when you know someone's attention is fixed on you in a way that feels, well, predatory. It's a feeling that sticks with you long after you look away. So once the watcher has made it clear they're there, that's when things shift. The next phase begins. They start to actively test your boundaries, moving from just passively watching to direct, psychological intimidation. It's all designed to unsettle you and take control of the situation.
And what's so chilling is that this escalation, it follows this really logical, predictable pattern. First, they let you know they know things about you that they shouldn't. Then they start probing for weaknesses, asking if you get scared being alone. Next, they test the physical space, like the man hiding under the desk. And finally, they move to direct intimidation, making it crystal clear that they are a threat.
And these are the details that just make your skin crawl. Paul knowing Meredith's name and her specific handwriting. Him knowing that she locks a specific door at 2 a.m. every night. The man at the motel hiding just feet away, ringing the bell with a disembodied hand. Every single one of these details is a message. It's saying, I've been watching you. I know your secrets, and I can get to you whenever I want.
I mean, this quote from Paul, it is absolutely bone-chilling. It's that moment the victim realizes that their personal safety measures, the very things they do every night to feel secure, are not only being watched, but are being commented on by the threat itself. It's a complete and total violation of their sense of control.
So what's it actually like to be on the receiving end of all this? Well, every single one of these workers talks about this intense internal battle. That gut feeling that's screaming something is wrong, fighting against the logical part of your brain that's saying, don't overreact. Maybe you're just being paranoid.
Remember the motel worker? This is what they said after the bell rang the first time. It's such a common reaction, isn't it? Our minds just try to rationalize things that don't make sense. And you know what? That self-doubt is a gift to the predator, because it can delay the victim from actually taking action and getting help.
And that really boils down to the one question they all had to answer, and the question you have to ask yourself. At what point does strange become threatening? Is a guy staring at a blank TV just weird, or is he a threat? Is a customer asking a lot of personal questions just being chatty, or is he probing for weaknesses? There's no clear line, and that ambiguity, that's part of the terror.
And this, right here, highlights the whole problem. The hotel worker's manager gives this advice, but to the worker, his behavior already felt threatening. The threat was psychological. It was in the stare, the weird wandering, the silent observation. The real challenge is finding the courage to act on that gut feeling before it escalates into something physical.
All right, so after going through all of this, what can we actually learn from these chilling stories? Let's try and distill these experiences into some key takeaways about situational awareness and why you should always trust your instincts.
The lessons here are pretty clear. First off, you have to trust your intuition. That freaked out feeling in your gut is data. It's a vital warning sign. Verify anomalies. The hotel worker was right to question that glitch check-in. Know your blind spots, because that's exactly what predators are looking for. Document everything. Remember, Paul's own intimidating notes became the very evidence that convicted him. And finally, and this is a big one, there really is safety in numbers. Friends showing up probably prevented something truly horrific from happening.
And all of this leaves us with one final, pretty unsettling thought. We have these stories because the victims survived to tell them, but these detailed, patient, and predatory behaviors, they suggest these probably aren't isolated incidents. And that just makes you wonder, how many night shift workers out there have a story that they've never told? And even scarier, how many simply never got the chance?